Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Paul. Welcome to my channel. We are playing today on Le Petit Ouest, and we have a little map review for another farming agency edition map. Good evening, Gabi. Good evening, Jarek. And with me today here is my very good friend, Sven Heiliger. Hello, Sven.
Good evening, Germany and England.
Ben, hello. Hey, hey, hey. So today I will give you a little bit of gameplay in the background because I don't think that any map that is already released with horse extension I have to represent in a stream, because you know the map and you know the features that we bring to. Hey, Nils Vario, hey, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, dear Nils, happy birthday to you. Alles Gute zum Geburtstag, Nils.
Ja, von mir auch alles Gute zum 40.
Schönen, servus. Good evening. So yeah, we will just start, and I will give the cow some straw, and then we move on. And later on, I will tell you something about the new map, or the new old map, the redone map. I hope sound is okay. Oh yeah, the best of all, I bought a new tractor. I sold the old one, the old 390. Burr, good evening. Oh, I'm doing fine. I'm really doing fine. Chris S, hello. Leon Crafter, hello. I sold the old 390 and the old 135 and the old MF Bobcat. I sold a lot, and I bought this brand new machine here. 75 horsepower. Will be the husbandry bitch. T-Red, servus. Let's see what this baby can do. I hope sound is fine. So what are you guys saying to the new farming simulator announcement today? It was made by Giants. Any surprises at all? 13-Bauer, moin.
Servus.
Da kommen's all in the English stream mit hello. Yeah, this is the new Massey that was released on ModHub today. It's a little bit smaller than the other one that I got already. It's from, I think, 75 to 115 horsepower. It's smaller. It's different. It's not just smaller scaled. Quality is okayish. You didn't expect a new game? Why? When they said that they delayed the release of the Farm Sim for 1 year, there has to be something they have to delay, right? So there had to be something. Something had to be there. Hey, Johannes. Greetings. Stellst du die Zeit noch auf 1?
Mache ich sofort. Ich will ganz kurz konfigurieren. In the shop.
And I got the same problem as usual. It doesn't unload. Ah, now he does. Leon, I'm doing fine. Today is a really busy day. I was late in today. I completely didn't recognize or see the news from the FS because I'm not very hyped because I need the information behind it. So it wasn't that big of an interest for me. BGO, good evening.
Servus, BGO.
No, it's not disappointing, not at all. But for me, it doesn't care which picture or video they show because we need to know what basic changes have been made on the engine so that we know what we can do for the next. I will wait for Maze Plus for the new game, or is it coming as standard? I don't know if it's coming as standard, but I know that they will put in new fruits. I have no idea if they are something that we made or not. I have no idea, really. Of course, I'm wishing for it, but right, Ben, we need the limits gone. Ulrich 55, why in English? Because Thursday is always the English stream. Normally I do map presentations because every week we do release a new farming agency edition map. Some that we redid from FSUK because FSUK closed and the maps there are gone. And BGO is updating them to the new features that we got with Compass and all that stuff. And this is always on Thursday. But I was streaming too much per week, and I had to dial it down. So Sven is streaming Dienstags
and Midwars.
So Sven is streaming 2 days, and I'm streaming 2 days. Sam took Monday and Sunday for possible streams, and we will fit in this in this schedule for 3 or 4 weeks until we start our streaming project on the Bergisch Land. So I will keep on doing Thursday the English stream, but with a little bit of gameplay in the background, so that I just have to announce which map will be released the next day or the day after, because you guys already know the new features and all that stuff. And the map that I will announce, you already know too. Isn't Vertex Design already making a map for the next FS? Yeah, who is not? I mean, of course they are. I'm not sure if they got more information than the others. I would say so. We have maps in plan for the next FS too, but we have no information what we can put in or not. Our complete Terra life is delayed because of the new FS. We will put it in the next FS. Fatty Gubby, hello. BGO, T-Red, hopefully the script docu comes with release. I hope that the script docu documentation will be much earlier than just to release, because we really need it early. Jerry, kannst du dir einfach einfügen in die AFA? Well, Berg, I can tell you that much. It has something to do with oak, but it's not Oak Field. There are so many oaks out there. There's Oak Hill, there's Lone Oak, there's Oak Field, there's Oaky Oak, whatever. There's so many oak fields out there. Hey Sam, you want to join us in stream, in voice, please? Paulo Silva, hi Paul. Let's see what the new game brings to the community. New crops. I hope Giants work with FA and others to integrate some good features on FS21. First of all, it's FS22. That was a big shock for me because I thought they got rid of the number. And no, they do not work with us together because we have no idea, we have no information, we have no clue. Same as with precision farming, we will start with the new FS like you do, guys, and then we have to hurry up to get it all in. Oak Alt map. Yeah, maybe that's a new name for the old alt map. I will kill you. Sam, you want to hop in voice? We are in the regular voice where we do the other streams. Okie Oak sounds fun. Yeah. No, not really. Not really. Because it was really BGO got a little confused which oak now would be released today or tomorrow. And yeah, we were prepared, but we prepared the wrong map. So all the oaks, I can tell you. What do you want from oak?
Mark from oak.
Yeah, marked from oak.
Nano.
No, I mean, if you follow the social media pages from us, and you saw the picture for the stream for today with the new Massey for this map here, I bought the new Massey and I sold 2-3 other Masseys for that. I sold the wheel loader. I sold the 135. I sold the 390, and I bought one new Massey Ferguson, the small one. So, what? Is Giants working with the realism for the seasons integration? You know that Rakin is working at Giants, right? He's a Giants worker, employee, if you want so. So they got him inside. So there's no need to work with them together, I would say. Trading more Masseys for less, that's always a good thing. Yeah, I thought so. And I did it only because I love you so much, Sam. And I really depend on you being in voice, so I thought maybe let's make it a little bit interesting for you. So I sold them. I sold them all. Yeah, Jarek, see you later.
Alligator.
You think that the Massey is a Turkish-made mod? But I can be wrong. I have no clue. I don't know. I just saw it today and I said I have to have it because it's the small gap that I needed with 75 horsepower to have a smaller tractor but big enough for front loader work and for the wrapper and all that stuff. Trading Massey for something else is even better, yeah. What tractors have I had in real life? Oh, a lot. Give me a sec. I will drive to the dealership and then I will tell you. Give me a sec. Because I had to update the fertilizer stuff here. I had to buy a front tank because we have to do herbicide on most of the fields, and that would be a pain in the ass with just the back sprayer. So what did I have? Back in the days, I had a Kramer Export, a small tractor. I had a 900 MB track, 1000 MB track. I had a Deutz 6807. I had John Deere 2850. I had Deutz 8006. Just with back wheel drive. I had an old International, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I had a Deutz Agrotron also. What a mess at the dealer! Yeah, you have to think that we are at the dealership with 2 people now. Wait. with 2 people, and we are both needing fertilizer and herbicides, so we kind of have to split it up a little bit. These here are mine. This is my herbicide, and this here is my fertilizer, and the other stuff is from Sven.
Unbelievable.
No, I never had a messy. I mean, I'm a mess myself, so how could I have a messy? Give me a sec. Are you still a farm in real life? No, not anymore. Because in 2013 I had an accident. I cut off from my right hand, from the middle finger, 1/3, and I was in what is it called? I had several operations in the hospital, and I couldn't work as farmer anymore after 30 years of 24/7 working as a farmer. Let's get Paul in there, guys. Where are you? What? What a mess. Das hatte ich schon. You lot are a massive fan. No, I'm not a massive fan. I'm fan of several tractor manufacturers, and there are different tractors that I like, and I'm not really fan of one special brand. Of course, I like Deutz the most, then Case IH, JCB, MB Truck, of course, and the others follow Valtra a lot. Yeah, Berg, thank you. I felt bad too for myself at that point, to be honest. No, it really cut me off of everything. So I lost everything back in the days, and this is pretty much the reason for my bad situation that I'm in now. And yeah, I really miss being in real life a farmer, but yeah, hey, now we're playing it on Farm Sim, so why not? Sam is here. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello.
Servus.
I was here for at least 10 minutes.
So you can help me a little bit with the chat, because suddenly there were so many. Leon Crafter. You're a handful, I can tell you that. Man, you're shifter. Oh, we went way past that. We went way past that, because after Modell Eicher was able to do the power shift on my throttle control, I left my shifter behind, and now I'm playing on power shift. That is my new love. No, all is fine. Shifter's fine. Steering wheel is fine.
Yeah, I was wondering, what do you think about your steering wheel?
Du bist ein bisschen leise.
Musst du mich wohl ein bisschen lauter machen.
Aber normal, ne, ich habe nichts verändert. Oh.
Ja, aber ich habe mein Mikrofon verändert.
Ah, okay. I have to pump up Modell Eicher. Make him louder. Say something.
Test, hello?
Yeah. Okay. We got you.
Stop.
It changed my entire audio setup in OBS, and I had to make my input quieter to work better in OBS.
Yeah, I guess I pumped you up too much. A little bit less. Say something.
Test, hello?
It's such a big difference, just 3 points in percentage, and you are so much louder. So did you notice today anything from the big presentation?
What?
From the big trailer?
There was a presentation?
Yeah. I mean, it was a representation. It was just a short video that said nothing.
I think the website was much more interesting than the trailer itself.
I mean, the good thing is the number plates that all the machines have all start with FA, right? So they did something right. I didn't expect that, to be honest.
I didn't expect anything.
Yeah, me neither. but the facts that they shared are nice and not so nice. Because when I read DirectX 12 support, yeah. And then also available for PS4 and Xbox One. What?
The PPP.
Then I saw the picture of the cow that looked pretty much scaled, and really much more like a modern cow, like a Holstein Friesen cow. That really surprised me, and the size compared to the stable that they showed seems to be fitting too.
And it
So-
seems to be a realistic stable.
Yeah, it's from Hermann. The guys are playing in the FSL. I think they're also sponsor, partner, whatever. So I expected that to happen, and I really hope that they would put on a little saying on the sizes of the animals, because if they want to represent their stuff, and there are these monster cows in there. I was not even looking for more different cattle types, to be honest. I was looking for some bulls, but I didn't see any. So let's hope that we don't get only, yeah, transgender correct cows.
See, people already think of you when they see cows. I will
expect some good stuff coming, right? So they set new crops. I expect clover and alfalfa to be in the game. I would really think so. But I have no clue what they did with the seasons, because when you see the picture of the snowy land, you see the green bushes and all that stuff. It doesn't seem to have any winter foliages on them. I'm not sure if seasons in FS19 had them by default, or if it was custom made by the community.
was custom made.
Oh, so the other seasons didn't have it at all?
Nope,
Okay, so...
just the trees.
Oh, okay. Here we go again.
I think it's good and bad that we have seasons included. The good thing is that we don't have to wait a year to play seasons.
Yeah. The bad thing is there's a lot of pressure on our shoulders then.
Well, I don't think they will release the script documentation anytime soon after release, so no pressure.
Yeah, I think they will give the documentation to some bigger studios that are already working on stuff for the next FS. I have there a big V in mind. that their map will be released soon. But yeah, let's see how many limits they could kick off. I mean, really, as I read PS4 and on Xbox One, I was, oh boy. But the extra line was DirectX 12 support for Windows PC. So, and the next gen, did they set the next gen or the last gen will go to their limits?
Last gen.
Yeah, but is the last gen now the new gen, the actual gen, or is the last gen the gen before the gen now?
It's a good question.
Yeah, it is. So it is so it's marketing. So I have no clue.
I guess technically the last gen would be the new consoles, at least in English, but I think they probably translated it more or less literally from German, and last gen would mean the old consoles then.
Yeah. But if I mean, if they would put the mobile version on PS4 and Xbox One, it would be fine for me. And if they already push the new consoles to their limits, that would mean you have to have at least a 2070 or something like that. So it would mean you have a lot of memory usage, a lot of core usage, and yeah, I mean, I'm really into it. I really am happy for cannot wait for the next one. But I really want to know the stuff behind the scenes, right?
Well,
because this is
going to be that lucky to find out anything before release.
Yeah, I mean, we really couldn't care less about the pictures they post when we modify the FS anyway. So we just need a good basic, and we need to know what the basic is. And with the new Giants engine pumped up to number 9 now, I really hope that they can deliver, right? What did you have for dinner? I had some shredded potatoes, some shredded carrots, and I put them in meat, and put them all in the what it's called. I don't know. Is it called in English grill too? Contact grill. I don't know how it is called. But I made me a very big meal. Ich weiß jetzt noch nicht mal mehr, was Frikadelle heißt.
Meat.
Meatball! Just give console players the money.
Swipe.
The money cheats, and they want and leave the rest to the PC.
42.
I think when looking at different rather popular games that are on PC and console, there's a stark difference in graphics between PC and console if you make or have highest settings on PC and highest settings on console. And I think in FS it isn't. I think consoles also play FS 19 on high or very high settings.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I think from watching a few videos that there aren't really any differences, and I hope that in the next FS, at least for the older consoles, there will be a big difference, because otherwise I don't think we are going to be much happy.
Yeah. If they left in the limitations that we have in this farm sim now that are killing us at the moment, yeah, we have pretty much nothing to gain. I would say so. I mean, if there's a special hardware you need, at least to play it, fine for me. But if there's a hardware gap on the top, that would really annoy me, because I want a farm sim that you can put in whatever you got and pump up the volume, turn up the graphics, and just max it out, and not the engine limitation being your enemy, right? So that you can pull up every slider. I mean, the main thing is the grid that we need to work on, and therefore we need the power of the PC, of high-end PCs, to push it through. But also we need the limits gone.
Leoncraft, not roasted, and I think they are happy. Probably because they're not roasted.
I'm sorry if this has already been covered, but is there any thought about bringing Maze Plus to FS22? Giants is saying more crops, but I'm guessing we'll be very short of what Maze Plus adds. Nathan,
here we go.
To be honest, we have no idea. Like with precision farming, we are just a bug and a pain in the ass of Giants. We are not big enough to be a player for them, so they gave us no information. We have no clue. We are not on board. We have not been asked. No worries there. Nothing for us to worry because we don't know. So if we don't know, we cannot worry. We will start worrying with you guys when the farm sim is released. Then we have to see what we can do, what we have to do, or what we better leave and play Battlefield or something like that.
I mean, that's the first thing I got this morning, like literally 10 minutes or 15 minutes after the release of the trailer. First people contacted me via PM and asked which of my mods I will continue making for this FS and which I will make for next FS. And I had questioned if we are going to convert Maze Plus for next FS, and that's... what am I going to say? I have no idea.
I mean, you basically can say that we will not convert Maze Plus for the next FS. We were planning on Terra Life. We didn't release it for this FS because with every bit that we added to Maze Plus, it became more complex and more of a mess. And we agreed on slimming it out and doing it, more or less not completely new, but with more order and maybe with the possibility that we can do it like Seasons did, that we have one mod, one zip, that you can put it in the folder and you can use the Maze Plus edits, and maybe we can add fruits via script into it. That is what we are looking for. That is what we are waiting for. And until we don't know that, we cannot say if we bring anything from Maze Plus to the next farm sim, because we need background information, what has changed, what is still possible, what did they do. And before that, there is really nothing we can say what we will do and bring for the next farm sim. Really nothing.
I mean, just because the trailer was released, or more or less the date was announced today, it doesn't change anything. I mean, between yesterday and today, there's no difference. There's no additional information. There's no knowing what the scripts would work, and so that really nothing has changed between yesterday and today. At least for me personally, I'm just going to continue playing FS19 and modding FS19 the way I did before today. So we all knew that a new farm sim is probably going to be coming at the end of the year. So at least now we have a date. Now we know how long roughly we still have for this version.
Oops. So, as Modell Eiche is here now and probably watching the stream, I have to say sorry, I cannot do my herbicide spraying in this maize field because it's way too high.
This is Maze Plus.
This is Maze Double Plus.
I've been watching you earlier not turning off the spray on the headlamps, and I was thinking to myself, I'll be quiet.
Yeah, this is because of the GPS sprayer control. It doesn't use any. It
but-
switches. No, it switches off, but the
animation is still there, and
yeah, the animation is still there. So
you know, I'm a visually realistic player.
yeah.
That's what I'm looking at.
But so to say, for Maze Plus and all that stuff that will be or not be, I mean, we are planning on doing in 3 or 4 weeks our Bergisch Land stream. We are planning on showing stuff that we are working on, that we worked on, and we will continue to do that. And when we get more information of what is possible for the next FS, or if the next FS is released, then we can have a look at what will be possible. We don't do and will not make us the pressure or put us under the pressure that we did last year. Never ever again such a pressure. It's nice and fine if we can manage it to do Terror Life for the next FS fast, quick, soon. But if not, then it's not. I mean, we need RMT2. We need some kind of simple IC. We need some other stuff too. And we do the stuff we do because we want to play it that way. And we will work on it, but not with a timetable, because this is pretty much what killed our fun for this farming simulator last year. Always the pressure, always have to. And with no information given by Giants for us, we only can wait and see. And this is why I'm not really hyped about the new game. I mean, I'm happy that there will be a new farm sim, of course, and of course I will take every information that we get, but we need the basics. This is what is more of an interest for us, not how many new brands will be in there or stuff like that. We need everything that is behind the curtain.
I mean, until the game is released, we can't do anything anyway. So
yeah,
we can't create a script before release. Even if we had access to a script, which we won't. Even if we had access to all the scripts in game before the game is released, we couldn't make a script because in order to create a script, you have to test it in game and so on. So even if the game is almost identical to the current FS, we still need, basically the game. So before the next FS is going to release, we can't do anything anyway. So the most important thing, at least for me, is that the script documentation will be released soon after the base game is released, and also that it is as complete as possible. I mean, we already know that Giant thinks that some scripts aren't important to modders, and they decide which parts of the game should be modded by a script and which parts shouldn't, or I don't know how they decide, but it's basically almost half the scripts are missing in the current script documentation. And I don't have very high hopes that this is going to change for the next FS, but if there was anything I could wish for, this would be it. To have a more complete script documentation and as soon as possible after release. And I think that's the most we can hope and ask for.
And I mean, we also don't know what happened now with switching to Giants Engine 9. What happened to the multi-core support, because there was an issue Modell Eicher already talked about. The more cores you have to sync, the more difficult it is for normal players, scripters, to get all the stuff done. So we have no idea what is still possible for us and what not. So many ifs and how and what. We really can't talk about it. We just can say that we will do our best to get our stuff that we have out now fixed and polished, and that we have at a certain point a Maze Plus where we can say, okay, this would be the basic for further modding, but we don't know. We cannot know. Same with
Vehicle physics. back in FS13, it was almost 100% script side, so physics weren't really within the engine. All the calculations for how the vehicle drives, how it behaves, and so on, they were all script side. So for FS13, more realistic mod, Dural could basically change everything. Every aspect of vehicle physics were possible to change via script. And with FS15, there was a new performance upgrade that would also got us multi-core support. The first real multi-core support was with FS15. And one of the things they did was put most of the vehicle physics directly in the engine. So it wasn't script-based anymore, it was directly in the engine. And we only could adjust parameters from the outside. And in FS17, more realistic, it was very clear, I think, to anybody that has played FS13 more realistic, that the FS17 version wasn't as good, wasn't as realistic. And Dural had a hard time to get it work. They had to do a lot of tricks and a lot of additional physical manipulation of the vehicle in order to make it behave somewhat realistic, because he couldn't change the core parameters that are now within the engine. And I guess that is one big fear, that with improved multi-core support, that they have stuffed more of the functionality of the game from script side to directly into the engine. And everything that is directly in the engine, we can't change. We can just access the attributes and set attributes, and whatever calculation the engine does, we can't touch. So, well, we'll see. Every positive comes with a negative for modding.
Yeah, it's the same with your RMT and Simple IC, and with the REA mod, with Season Shader, with all the lighting. We have no clue what will be or not. So,
I mean, I can say this much. Simple IC, the one part where the doors and stuff will open, that's probably will convert to an XFS without any changing to the core script, because that's basically, this is functions that are the same since FS11 or something like that. But for example, the sounds, Simple IC does influence sounds if you open and close the doors. So the engine sound gets louder and quieter. That's something that is based on already existing base game scripts, and that is something that will change. And all the additional functionality of the new version of Simple IC with the where you can raise and lower attacher, where you can turn on implements and all that stuff. That's all of the stuff is based on base game scripts, and all of those probably will change. So they might not change completely, but they may be at a different path, so you have to find a different way of accessing it, stuff like that. And so considering all that, Simple IC will be easy to convert compared to RMT, because RMT is basically all of its functionality, aside from selecting gears and all that, which is great. I mean, that's the part I can convert. I can convert it very easily, so I can select gears, but the gears don't do anything. So the physical side of that is completely dependent on the in-game scripts, and they will change. I mean, we don't know how much, and we don't know what exactly will change, but they will change. They always change. So, yeah, we'll just have to see.
Yeah, but, there are so many scripts that we depend on, where just a small change in the engine could lead us to not being able to access it anymore, because maybe the script docu will be worse than it was before, and you have no idea how to get access to it.
Yeah.
There are so many possibilities. What could go wrong? What could be better? What could be easier? But it's all speculation, and speculation only leads to sleeping bad at night, and it's not worth it. So we focus on the stuff that we are doing now, and if we got this finished, we will wait until we get information, and then we have to see how to compare stuff, and maybe to get it to another farm sim.
Yeah, I mean, long story short, so to say, it's going to be difficult no matter what. So converting any of the scripts and redoing them for the next F isn't something we can do in a few weeks or something. So it's going to take a lot of time, even after we have the information we need, like script documentation and even familiarize ourselves with the game. I mean, really, in order to mod the game, you have to play it, because you have to know how does the stuff work, especially the new stuff. I mean, I had this experience before where I created a mod, and then I realized, oh, feature is already in the game, but I didn't know because I didn't play. And that's certainly not a good way going about it. So, yeah, well, it will take a lot of time, and I guess it doesn't help to say that now, but in what is it now, 7 months, 6 months, 7 months, when a new FS is coming out and a few weeks are gone by and there aren't no news about Maze Plus or RMT or any other of the scripts, don't go about pestering people via PM and asking them when will be ready or something, because it's not going to be that fast.
Fatty Gubby is asking, do you guys still have plans for FS19? Of course, because we delayed the Terra Life aspect of the Maze Plus, because it would have been much too complex, and we didn't get it that well working as we wanted it to be. But there are still there's still open stuff that we want to fix in Maze Plus, and we want to accomplish at least that we have all in that is possible for us to do. And I mean, it's easier for us to get a good overview if we have our mods finished before we start thinking about doing new stuff for the new FS, because this would be working on two ends, and this is never good. You have to finish one thing first before you start doing it in the next one. It pretty much showed up when we had no information about precision farming. Modell Eicher did so much scripting for the regular farm sim to work with Terra Life, and we already ran in front of walls, so to say. We had dead ends, and then precision farming came up, and it changed everything. And it was just, may we delay it because it wouldn't be ready before the next FS is being released. So we will do all the other stuff. We will finish up all the other stuff. RMT is still a lot of work. Simple IC is still a lot of work. Of course, Sam has other projects too, and so we will show the work in process in our Bergisch Land stream. There we will have stuff in that will not be released for Farm Sim 19 anymore. Of course, there will be new stuff in that will be released for Farm Sim 19 still. But so you guys can follow up and see what we are working on, what ideas we got, and we want the interaction with you guys. So I really trust you guys that you don't ask permanently the question, will this be, will that be? Just watch and see and speak with us about the stuff we're doing, and we will give you all the information that we can do. Noodles, hey there! What is Terra Life? Don't mind me. Terra Life is basically the kind of farming you do. I mean, it's basically the feeding of the ground, of the soil. Yeah, we do a lot for. I have to switch it off when I turn on the headlamps because Modell Eicher said so. Maze Plus and all that stuff is basically the feeding for the animals, and Terra Life is the feeding for the soil. It's cover crops, it's no-till, it's the way you fertilize, the way you cultivate the grounds, several new fruits and all that stuff. It's a really complex. It's a whole new ecosystem that would have complemented precision farming a lot, but yeah, it's not possible for us to do it for this FS. But we will show parts of it in our streams on Bergisch Land, just to give you a little bit of an idea what we are working on and what we were working on. Yeah, I hope that it sounds good. I hope that it gets even better. I mean, we partnered up with DSV seats. This is a big German company who does all the seats, and we practically have branded seats for all that stuff. Terra Life is a DSV brand, so and we can use it. So yeah, there's a lot to come. And we got also a partner that I cannot announce, but we got a food company for animal food and stuff. So we really try to fit in all the ecosystem where the farm sim till today really was not able to do something more realistic. So we are not the guys who produce every week a new manure spreader or a new plow. We are the guys who work on the stuff that how you play the farm sim. It's a really unthankful work, but we love it, don't we, Sam?
Oh, some of the time.
Personally, I don't expect anything from Giants regarding FS22, so I won't be disappointed. So far, I'm not impressed, as they still can make proper crop rows, judging by the screen. Yeah, this is something where we worked on too, to make a smaller grid, to get a smaller rows and all that stuff. But we ran into the limitation of the engine because it would have taken so much power from the CPU that it would have been unplayable. So we depend on making the farm sim, the Giants engine, much more performant. Much less power consumption using whatever. I mean, it has to be much more spread it on more cores on a PC that we can make it. Because this is something like strip till. If you do strip till, or if you want to plant in a curve, or if you want to have tram lines that look like tram lines and not like that here, yeah. I mean, we did so. We had some good stuff going, but I mean, who wants to play with 15 FPS in general? Power consuming.
Can I do a very long response to Baka?
Yeah, sure, do.
So he says Giants don't use the game engine that SnowRunner uses, and that's one of the, I guess it's I don't know why, but every time somebody says something along those lines, I always want to do a really long explanation, because imagine Giants using SnowRunner engine. It would mean that every field would be very muddy, and you could drive your tractor in, and it would be very muddy, and it would be very cool, and it would be amazing. But there's a few key features are missing. For example, crops. So yeah, we would have a farm sim without any crops, and we would have a farm sim without any animals, and without any navigation measures, and well, basically everything that makes farming simulator would be missing, because that engine can't handle those things. And because that engine doesn't have to handle those things, it can do those terrain deformation tasks very well. And really, to wish for another engine or to compare FS with any other game doesn't really work. Or let's say this: the only game farming simulator could be compared to engine-wise is Cattle and Crops, because it's also a farming simulation. Because farming simulation does require so specific things from an engine that almost all game engines out there can't provide any of the crop growing and all of that stuff. And I don't know about the current engine, but I think back in FS15 or something like that, one of the Giants devs talked in an interview, talked about the crop growing, and he said that performance-wise, about a third of the engine, of overall engine performance, about a third is reserved for the crop growing system because it's just so performance heavy, which means that even if you manage to put a crop growing system in an engine like SnowRunner, you would basically kill its performance completely, because just imagine it would run a third worse than it runs now. And the best engine Giants could use for FarmSim is the Giants engine, because it was made for FarmSim. It wasn't made with FarmSim in mind initially, back in 2006 when Giants first made their own version of an engine. But then they started developing FSO 8, and at that point they started developing the engine for a farming simulator game, and they have been improving and developing their engine ever since. So it's the oldest farm sim engine there is, because nobody else did it before. And afterwards, really, Cattle and Crops are doing it right now. They bought, I think, C4 engine is it, and they now bought parts from Tombstone, I think, and they are taking an existing engine and redeveloping it for the use with the farming simulation. So they have to add all those features like crop growing and stuff like that. And basically their version of C4 engine is the only alternative engine out there that can do all those things that needed to be done for farm simulation. And I don't think the Cattle and Crops engine is really better. At least performance-wise, it's right now much worse. Anybody that played Cattle and Crops so far knows that. And it's Giant Software's biggest asset is the engine, because it has been purposely developed for farming simulation for over 10 years now. And we have 2021, it's 15 years now. I think the only thing holding back is Giants itself, and money. It all comes down to money. If Giants wanted to have a dynamic terrain like SnowRunner, they could add it. They would have to employ a few more developers and pay a bit more money, and they could add it easily. But the issue is performance then, because as I said, a lot of performance in the FS engine is already taken up by everything else that needs to be calculated in a farming simulator engine. And the current CPUs, current GPUs just aren't there yet to have all those things working and still have good performance. And I think Cattle and Crops is a very good example of the issues arising with limitations like that. And also, in addition to that, Cattle and Crops doesn't have a really actual dynamic terrain, but it is more a 3D texture shader representation, and it doesn't really interact with physics as much as SnowRunner, for example. Well, that was a long explanation, but basically the best engine for farming simulator is the Giants engine.
Agreed.
And the only limitation is Giants itself, or more or less consoles, old PCs, and when it comes down to it, money, because Giants, of course, will be trying to create as much profit as they can, and they won't invest huge sums of money to improve the engine in a way they won't get a return of. And if they make an engine that is really has all those amazing features everybody wants, like dynamic terrain and muddy vehicles and everything, but they would have to stop console development, they would have to stop supporting all the PCs, they would lose a large market share. That doesn't make any economical sense at all.
It's quite easy to get dynamic terrain into the farm sim. You guys just had to deal with buying an 18-core processor, 128 gigs of RAM, maybe 3090 in SLI, so that you can play it on 40 FPS. I
feel like the core of the Giants engine is showing its limitations in FS17. Few people said that, and I really can't see that. But I would love to hear an explanation what exactly you mean.
Yeah, this is but this is what I said, because people think the engine is the limit for stuff. It's a yes and a no. The engine is limiting stuff because consoles and PCs can handle more.
Yes.
So when we get rid of these limitations and it scales with the bigger the PC, the more you can show off. Nice. But who really is able to buy a high-end gaming PC for 3, 4, 5, 6,000 euros just to play farm sim on? The majority of people is playing with the stuff that is older than 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, and so they have really to deal with that and have to cater them. Yeah, I mean, if it's possible to make the engine scale down and up, and you have switches for features on and off, would be the perfect solution. But this will cost so much money. I don't think that they will gain it in just selling a super realistic farm sim, because most of the people don't want it. We are the minority as realistic players. We are most of the players. I mean, more than half are console players. If there are some realistic players on console, I mean, they just have to deal with the limitation of the buttons on the console to start with, right? So how realistic do you play with the game controller? How realistic do you play with additional scripts? So there's so much to it. I think the Giants engine with the current version 9.0 will deliver, and I think a lot of people will complain afterwards that their PC is not powerful enough, or the game is laggy, or whatever, and they say, oh, bad engine, but they don't look in their mods folder, they don't look into the possibility that what their PC is only able to push, they got the wrong settings and all that stuff. So it's mostly homemade when the engine or the game is not running smoothly. It's the same with us. Our Geiselsburg save game is horrific. I mean, in a bad way, because we got 5.1 gigabyte of mods on there. We got nearly 400 mods, and when you go to the town in Geiselsburg, where there are 50, 60, 70 mods placed around, you get 20 FPS only. And it's our fault. It's not the fault of the engine. It's our fault because we cannot deal with that much of performance.
Paulo Silva says, is possible to explain about script.Doku? Where can I get more information about script.Doku for dummies? Does script.Doku have any engine? X C++? Paulo, script documentation, if we refer to script documentation, we mean the documentation regarding the Giants farming simulator scripts. They are based on Lua, so the programming or script language is Lua. If you have experience with C++, I think you won't have a hard time getting into Lua. There's a Giants Developer Network is the website where there's the documentation. I'll put a link into the chat right now. There is basically the scripting API reference FS19, the Lua doc is what we refer to as the script documentation, and it's one part is documentation of the scripts that are in game, so the base game script, and the other part is the documentation of the engine specific functions that can be called. Although documentation is really a loose term because it doesn't explain that much, it is rather incomplete.
Der wurde gelöscht. It got deleted.
Why that?
From Google moderator team. I have no idea.
Well, let's try again. Anyways, that's where the best documentation we have.
I just want to hop in very shortly because Tim says, I think someone working at Giants talked about dynamic terrain shortly after FS19 release. He said, they are already working on it, but they couldn't say in what FS it will be implemented. Problem with the dynamic terrain is it needs a very powerful PC because you want to have it working as intended and not just like in cattle and crops or stuff or mud runner, because it would not work for a farm sim to make a realistic dynamic terrain. You would have to have a very small grid so that you can make cubes out of maybe 1 or 2 centimeters to make it real dynamic. And there is no PC out there at the moment that can handle it, even if the engine would support it. And nobody has the money to buy a 10,000 PC, 10K PC just for dynamic terrain. So I think it will take at least 5 to 7 years until the hardware is that far that we can push it that far. Because the engine can only do as much as the hardware supports, right? It cannot magically make a dynamic terrain use no graphics power. It is very power consuming. It is.
Yeah. To add to that, I'm pretty sure that they tried. So I'm at least with release of Cattle and Crops, I'm pretty sure that they tried and they added dynamic terrain, at least in a very simple test version, and just looked at what they could get working and how the power requirements would be, and they decided to abandon that idea for now. And yes, he said something like that, so that they will be working on it and that it more or less will be coming to some FS at some point, which I guess is the natural development as soon as the average PC and average console that is played on has enough power to support something like that. They will add it, because obviously dynamic terrain is amazing in a farming simulator game, but it's only amazing if it's done well enough, so it works well enough.
2.5 years ago, when I was in Erlangen, I was sitting at the table from FACE, and he showed me on Felsbrunn how the FS would perform with a grid of 1.5 centimeter. So he fired up his what was it? It was a 8700K and a 1080 Ti. It was basic Felsbrunn map, no mods. And he still had between 1 and 3 FPS. No modification, just the grid so far down that you could make it perform like dynamic, so that you could change it. But there was no change. It was just the grid small enough. There were no cubes in the bottom, no cubes in the air. There was nothing moving. It was just loading, and so it was an 8700K and 1080 Ti. This is not one of the worst graphic cards or CPUs. And back 2.5 years back, we had no 2080s or stuff like that. So my personal view is it will at least take 5 to 7 years until we see something like that, because for me it is better they do it in a proper way instead of doing it halfway and all complaining about how worse or just like it is the worst that they ever saw or something like that. Most people really don't understand the complexity behind the farm sim, the engine, what it's used for what, and how much it really takes. They only see, oh, my FS is running with 50 FPS. I play Battlefield with 144 FPS. Graphics looks much better, blah, 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 and all that stuff. But they don't look behind the curtain what is happening to make a game run like that. And just fire up a game, a safe game with seasons in early spring with no mods, and then you hop to late summer when all is growing, and you see how much FPS you get out then, just to see how much performance the growing system takes. Then add some animals, and there we go.
To add to all that, I think there was a bit of discussion between Quacka and Noodles going on about upgrading PCs to gain performance in Farming Simulator and not gaining performance in Farming Simulator. It's the mods. It's as simple as that. It's the mods. the game itself, I mean, well, if we're honest, the game itself isn't the best optimized compared to some AAA games. I mean, that's obvious. Giants is still a rather small development studio compared to really a AAA game, and there's just a lack of manpower and a lack of money to really do some down to the core improvements to really get the last bit of performance out of the hardware it's played on. And also it doesn't scale well because its development is focused on average PCs. It isn't focused on high-end gaming PCs. But besides that, it's the mods. And I guess there isn't any other game that isn't like that. I think, tell me any game that you can heavily mod, which heavily modded doesn't have much worse performance than in its default vanilla state. Because, well, first of all, mods add a lot of stuff that isn't there. And also mods are terribly optimized, terribly. Even modders that do care about performance and performance optimization still get it wrong a lot of times. And a lot of modders don't care. They don't know. They don't want to know. They don't inform themselves, and they don't care. And I mean, that's fine. To a certain point, we don't care because if we can add something to the game that looks good, and well, that's the main focus, is to add something to the game that is fun to play and that looks good. And we won't spend another 50 hours to gain 5% performance. Game studio might spend 50 hours to gain a few percent of performance, but a modder won't, because that's just unreasonable.
I have to throw Sven under the bus. Sven, your tram lines here on the cornfield is not done well. You messed them up.
Okay.
I just have to say it because there's every game I need to remind Sven on playing right.
Well, the CPU core count doesn't matter as much in Farm Simulator because most of the game isn't multi-core supported. And the reason, I mean, I think, I'm not sure if you were here there, if you were here in the stream before when we had this topic, but there is an issue of making a script work on multi-core, because if you run the same script on multiple cores, you have to do synchronization between the cores. So one core has to know what the other core does. And it's a difficult task in itself to make that work. And as far as I know, I'm not sure, but as far as I know, every script in Farming Simulator does not have this. So everything that is script-based, even the base game scripts, there is no multi-core support for that. It will run on one core and one core only. So basically, you have one core in Farming Simulator that runs all the script stuff, and then you have engine functionality like the core for vehicle physics, the navigation mesh for the animals, and well, a lot of graphical stuff that isn't calculated on the GPU, and that is stuff that gets divided up into multiple cores. And yeah, so multi-core support is really bad, but the good thing about that is that we can make mods like Maze Plus. And I said it earlier in the stream that if they have better multi-core support in the next farm sim, there is a fear for us modders that they place more of the script functionality directly inside the engine, which means we can't access it, we can't change it, and we're restricted in basically adding features. So it's always a trade-off, and I think that Giants does know how important it is to make scripts and how important mods are, and I don't think that they will basically remove all the base game scripts and put it all inside the engine, which would be great for performance. I mean, it would really have a noticeable performance gain to do that, but it would basically kill script modding completely. And I don't think they will do that, but I do think that it will get more difficult with each FS version.
Stefan Geiger said the maximum count is 4 to 6, so 4 cores or 3 plus 3 hyper-threading. Just no, I lost him. Quaka, yeah. Are you going to release the CCM fermenting silo placeable still? I put it up here on screen. It's already implemented in the CCM extension. We are working on the update, and yes, it will be as a placeable within there. And the other was, oops, where was it? Isaac asked, what's the current grid size in FS19? It should be 50 centimeters. As far as
centimeters.
Hmm?
It's 25 centimeters. The grid size itself is 25 centimeters, but because if you have 50, if you have a 25 centimeter gap between the grid, it will connect. So the actual usable size is 50 centimeters, or the actual usable size is double of the grid size.
Yeah. So.
And to add to what I just said, Noodles, if you really want to get a performance improvement, you have to get a CPU with higher single core performance, or you have to overclock your CPU. I did overclock my Intel E5 from 3.6 gigahertz to 4.4, and I gained 10 FPS almost everywhere from that. So single core performance is still key, and I think if there is still enough script support in the next farm sim, that's not going to change that much.
So I hope that Modelisha is reading the chat and not watching the screen.
You know I can do both at the same time.
I know. I had to take a shortcut because I had to take a shortcut. I have to really celebrate at the moment that I still can do it, because on Bergisch Land I have promised that we all will play as realistic as possible. So as long as I can, I will take the gaps here and there. I'm sorry.
Berg also said Minecraft as an example for a really terrible performance with mods, but well, Minecraft isn't that great of an example because the performance without mods isn't that much better. I mean, Minecraft is I don't know about the Bedrock edition, I never played it, but the Java edition performance is much worse than Farm Simulator performance.
Hey, let's put some cows into Minecraft. Let's see how it performs.
You know there are cows in Minecraft, right?
Yeah. And how does it perform?
You can have 700 cows at one place, and the frame rate is just slightly bad.
Okay, how much milk do they do, and how much food do they consume, and how much trees are growing, and how much whatever, add here, whatever you want. No, last time someone said Giants should move to Unreal Engine, and this is quite the same. There's no other engine that can handle this stuff, because the Giants engine is built for all these scripts. You don't have these scripts in, for example, Battlefield. Yeah, back in the days, Battlefield 4 had the worst game release ever, but the Frostbite engine is really good scaling with AMD and with NVIDIA and with Intel. And with Vulkan, it really made it better. So you could play very well with low-end PCs, but you could really push the limit with high-end PCs. And what Modelisha just explained, the scripting, the need of the scripts to be synced, is that what is missing in the Frostbite, because they don't have to. So you cannot just add 6 cores more to get more power. It won't work. I mean, they could do, but then we were not able to put mods in there, or something like Maze Plus wouldn't be possible, because there had to be a really big programmer studio to do so. And I don't think that they would do it, because who wants to do it without money if they are big, right? I think they will be able to do the compromise between good performance and good modability with the next FS, and I hope that we have a base there to do it for 3 or 4 years then, or maybe longer. Because the only thing that is holding us back at the moment are the limitations. No matter if these are limitations because of the older consoles or limitations because of missing optimization, but I mean the whole UDIM stuff and all the graphics and it's good. It's fine. You can play 2 more or 4 more years on that. I wouldn't say that this is necessary to change the texture system and all that stuff, but yeah, the limits are really holding us back. All of us, not only us. I mean, all of us. Noodles, as long as there's a 4 before the point, it's not running FS well. We are so happy that our server, our dedicated server, has is with its frequency is above 5. Dang it. Modell Eicher, übernehmen Sie. I have to check for 34. I have to go to 34. Dang it. Are you still there?
I'm still here.
Sven still there?
Yes.
I thought you got lost. Lost in Vorgewende.
In translation.
Lost in translation.
Now that did look like a drunk person tried to find the entrance to a field and didn't.
No, I need to turn. U-turn.
If you would have driven another 2 meters forward and then turned, you would have turned right into the field entrance.
Yeah, you know that when I'm not playing in first person, I most of the time am reading the chat, so I really didn't look that much on the screen.
Berg wants to know if there will be English streams of Bergisch Land or if they are German.
As far as I can tell, at the moment it will be. But how we manage to do so, I'm not sure yet. Because we are still working on the project and organizing how we will deal with the whole voice. Because Modell Eicher is doing pretty much like a let's play his series, so he cannot have 20 people in voice for that. And so we have to find a solution that we can switch between channels and stuff like that. So if we do so for Modell Eicher, we will also be able to do for the English stream. Yes, of course, because it is my in my personal interest is to get to you guys, with you guys, to interact with you, and of course the English community is also very necessary for that stuff. So I will try to make it possible. I think when we start Bergisch Land, there will be at least 3 or 4 streams per week. So there should be a gap for the English one, of course, too. I mean, we care about what you guys want to have and want to see. So, yeah. The question is, will there be English viewers on Bergisch Land? that should be the main concern about it.
Something's wrong with your plants there.
What?
They don't line up.
What doesn't line up?
The whatever is growing there with the terrain texture.
Yeah. You see why?
Because it changed the spacing of the plants or something like that?
It's because it's not the original 90-degree planting rows.
Oh,
So the land angle was slightly different to the planting angle, and the planting angle is always the same. So this is why you see it like that.
why is that? I thought that the even with more terrain angle, it doesn't have an effect on the potatoes and beets and stuff.
Because I changed the potatoes and beets and stuff.
Oh,
So I can
why
I can
would you do that?
I can plant them in a curve from the ground texture. I was testing that, and I don't know how and why it came into this map here too. I just forgot to put it back. It's the way it is.
I can't stop looking.
Look at from that angle. Or that, or this.
It's confusing.
Yeah, it is. You see why it is so necessary that we work on this stuff.
No.
So get that. Yeah, we have to get the confusion out of there.
In your opinion, what is a good PC? Not excellent CPU, memory, and graphics card for play and work on G and Blender. Probably the one you have because prices are horribly expensive. No. Well, I don't know. I think CPU prices have dropped, haven't they?
Yeah.
But GPU prices are still.
The best PC at the moment is the one you don't need. I'm waiting for a new graphics card for 1.5 years now. And I think it will still be until the next FS got released. Take as long as that, I think. Before you can even think about getting a new graphics card. It's really hard at the moment. It's really, really hard. Not only Bitcoin miners, not only the miners. There's a shortage of all the stuff in general. I mean, I really hope for people getting the new 3080s and all that stuff and selling their 2080s early on. Some of them did, and I didn't have the money. And yeah, all of a sudden there was no supply for the new ones, and the old 2080 Ti got much more expensive than they were when you bought them new. So it's really annoying. Oh yeah, so before I forget about it, we will release Lone Oak tomorrow or on Saturday in the Farming Agency edition, edited by BGO with compost and all that stuff, precision farming. So to give you that, I hope that you guys already have the altered precision farming, or I will make a bundle again out of it and put it in there. It's the Lone Oak that was released on FSUK, and after FSUK shut down, there was no alternative link because we were planning on updating the map, and now we are doing one map per week. So I think they will follow some oaks. I'm not sure. Did we release already Oak Field, Oak Hill? I'm not sure, but they will all follow. So every week, one map. And I think it will take at least more, I think 20 weeks or so. Maybe we'll release them earlier. There will be some releases on ModHub too from maps, like today and yesterday and so on.
What's this?
Yeah, I mean, Compass is a cheap money-making scheme. Yeah, if you want to play like that, you can play like that. But we made it that way that it is a realistic price to buy and to use as fertilizer. And I'm not sure why compost is that expensive in the BGA. Maybe BGO didn't look into the selling prices. Not sure, because it shouldn't be more expensive when you sell it as when you buy it. Could it be a German map next week? No, Weilchen will never be released as Farming Agency Edition. Because the mapper doesn't want to have it. And we, of course, will not release a map without permission. And now that we are that far in, I think even if they wanted to give us permission, I wouldn't take it. Weilchen is dead for us. The silence in the woods, so to say.
It's crazy.
Does help for new saves though before cows make manure. Yeah, and it's just a little addition because we're working on compost production, but without global company. We want to add it to maybe like a silo or something like that to our Maize Plus, so that you guys can use it or produce it yourself. At the moment, I'm not sure if we are really able to do so in this FS, because we are missing some stuff. We will show in Bergisch Land, and I'm quite sure we will bring it if we can in the new farm sim. But yeah, just watch the stream when we start Bergisch Land. There will be so many explorations to make for you guys, and so many interesting things. At the moment, it stays the way it is, that we put the compost in like we did. Oh, and I forgot again. I just sprayed 34 and there's still... Oh, because this is on the grassland, okay. 15. Let's go for oaks, yeah. There's always the oak to discover. Welcome to the Oak channel. And we also have to still have to make the update to Chowel. I'm not sure if BGO really wants to take it on, because there are so many trees that we have to change and to replace. Because they are placed so badly that if you chop them with the chainsaw, you still got 1 meter left out of the ground and you cannot take it out. It's such a mess. Such a mess. Oh, like me missing... No, it's not my field. The next field is my field. Yeah, it's still a little time till we start on Bergisch Land, but of course I'm always happy for subscribing, liking, commenting, and all that stuff. It always helps the channel out. I really appreciate it, because it's hard. it's hard in the farm sim community to get the channel working as intended. At least so intended to give you guys the information, because there's so many farm sim channels out there, and I don't want to be a YouTuber. I just want to make it a little bit like Farming Agency TV, so you get some information and stuff like that. Is someone else playing on this map with you? Yes, someone is playing. Sven, where are you?
Here.
Here? Where?
I'm spraying on field 5.
Oh, okay. Come on, let's see. Let's see if he's actually playing, or if he is just telling me that he is playing.
The helper. I had the helper on.
The helper on.
Wait.
He's our friendly player from Hessen.
Yeah.
He always plays Anishta.
Yeah.
He's spraying the soybean, so actually here's someone here. You see him there?
Yes. In Hessen we say another star.
Another star. So now I lost my tractor. I have no idea where I left my tractor. Oh, here it is. So no, it's really it was I had no choice to pick today with the gameplay, because otherwise I had to show you Lone Oak, and you know the map, you know the features, and it's not my priority to do 1.5 hour just talking and showing you stuff that you already know. Oh, Sven has a class. Yeah, Sven has class sometimes.
Yes.
But he doesn't have only one.
The 5 class. 3 times.
Is this stream sponsored by Monsanto with all the herbicide you're spraying? Yeah, no. And I can promise you that with our next update there will be no Monsanto or Pioneer anymore with our Maize Plus. But our sponsor, our partner, will not pay any money for us showing it. So it's yeah. It was a bad tactic, but who cares? We love the fun. We are doing it all for the fun. Learned a lot tonight, thanks. Didn't Maru make a compost maker in FA 17? Yes, he made one, and there are already some compost makers out there, and I'm not sure who will also do some compost stuff. There is another guy who did compost. He gave me permission to use the way he did his compost, but when I looked into the mod, I saw that it's basically the same way we do our stuff, so I don't need permission for it. Okay, I give you a little spoiler. Normally you would make compost out of hedge cut or green cut, stuff like that, right? So you know that Oxy has some cuttable hedges on his maps, and we wanted to extend or expand that to green cut and more hedges. Problem is, when you do compost, you have nothing really else to put into the compost silo, because what would you do? There is no rotting grass. There are no rotting grass bales that have another fill type. They only lose mass. So you just would change silage against compost, manure against compost. So we need these new fill types, but in order to get so, we have to do the maps with the cuttable hedges and the green cut and all that stuff. That was all planned with TerraLife, but TerraLife now got delayed. So I'm not sure if we really want to go into it to push it in this FS, or just finish the stuff that we have, take the other stuff after the release, have a look at it, how we can implement it, or if we have to cancel it completely. So it really depends on how the game is going and what precision farming is adding and all that stuff. So there's so much possible, but we first have to get the knowledge of what will be in the next FS. Do we get a script documentation? Do they take something from Maze Plus maybe into the new game? Some crops like clover or alfalfa or stuff like that. Do they get rid of the limitations? Is the engine powerful enough to support the other stuff that we want to do? We can do speculation over speculation, but it doesn't matter really. So in Bergisch Land, in this stream, we will do some stuff that we had planned. We will show you, and you can say hop or top. And we will think about bringing it into the next FS. And there will be also stuff in there that we will still release for this FS. But it's just really depends on how we can manage to do so. Right? Class or Fen, sometimes JD, but always the complete fleet. Yeah, that's Sven. That's Sven. What Fen would you like to play? All of them.
Yes.
But he's not worse than me. I mean, I have to take always every JCB and then add some others to it. Problem is I'm lagging in weekdays. I don't have enough times. I don't have enough days to play every tractor that I want to. So I have to put them all in one safe game and try to switch. Thank you, Quacker. But yeah, we try to do a whole ecosystem. So or at least we try to get the other modders that are working on stuff to work with us together. Not to get their credits, but to do it together so that we simplify things and that not two people are working on the same thing and at the end they are not compatible. So this is really my intention to get people work together, and like with the sugar beet factory, I partnered up with Weasel that we can implement his stuff in, because we had all the beet pulp and all this stuff 8 months ago. We wanted to implement it already, but we were not able to because we had some other problems, and now we will integrate it in our Maze Plus so that he has no problems by implementing his mod to the game. Noodles, how many class tractors do you need? Me? Yes. It's the same with Model Aisha. No, it's not the same. It's not the same. He would love to have every Aisha in FS, but he would not play every Aisha in a single safe game. Correct?
Yeah, I guess.
or the next safe game would be Model Aisha's Aisha museum. Then you could have all of them in there.
Well, Paul's story already is. I mean, that I think I have all icon mods that are more or less playable on that safe game right now.
Okay, so you're nothing better than we are.
Yeah, the only limitation I have is that a certain lack of mods, not a certain lack of playing them.
So we are all the same. Berg, thank you for hopping in. Hope I see you the next time. And we will wrap it up, of course, also for today, because I want to keep the English stream at least for the next couple of weeks for just 2 hours. I'm not sure if I can start earlier, because I have no idea which timetable to take or to pick. But feel free to get into Discord, to subscribe, to like, to share, and yeah, of course, to get into Discord in the English channel and ping me, ask me whatever you want. Just keep it on a moderate way, because I cannot answer 50 PMs per day or pings per day. But there are so many people in there that can help with questions, and yeah, we will keep you up to date and post it for our Bergisch Land stream, and then it will be much more interesting, I guess. So I will really say big thank you to Modelleicher for supporting the chat and the discussion.
Don't think I did much chat reading. I did a lot of rants today. But it was a lot of fun.
And for explanation, of course. And Sven Heiliger for going on to the journey with the English stream today.
Yes, thank you.
He's opening another couple of
yes.
beer bottles here. So thank you for being here. I thank you guys all in the chat. I really thank you. It's much appreciated if you support the channel or me. You find links for whatever you want to do. I hope I see you next week on Thursday. There will be another map. Lonok will be released, I guess, tomorrow or Saturday. And yeah, I'm every time I'm open for a discussion. I think every time, yeah, I'm open for a discussion every time. So feel free to ask, feel free to join. Guys, you are really awesome. I really love that you guys showed up in an English stream where an old German dude tries to speak English. I'm trying to get better. Yeah, let's wrap it up. I really thank you. Have a good night. Thanks for being here. Sven and Sam, thank you both. And guys, sleep well later. Stay the way you are. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.